Hey everybody, welcome to the SoCal Dram Tram. I'm Matt.
I'm Caesar.
And today we have a very special episode. That's right folks, giveaway episode. Woo! That's right, if you don't know what that is, that's because you didn't stay until the end of the last video. But today we have the Glengoyne Teapot Dram batch number 7. That's right, it's 007, it's like James Bond. This is bottle number 473 out of 3,993 bottles. This is a cask strength bottle, folks. This is at 59.9%. It's a punch in the face. It's intentionally young. It's a non-age statement. That means it has no age. But I'll tell you, we've had a couple of their teapots and they're delicious. So what do you know about this bottle, Caesar?
Not much. Not too much, Matt.
Not much. All right, well, hey, I'll go ahead and tell you the story. So, it goes like this. Glengoyne, they've been around for a long time. They make great whiskeys. I've had the 15. That's all I've had other than the teapots. Let's say I own a distillery. And Caesar, you come to work for me for that distillery. But I don't want Shady Caesar stealing any of my whiskey. So as a result of that, I'm gonna go ahead and give him 3 drams a day. That's right, I'm gonna give him 3 pours of whiskey. Not anything fancy like my 21, my 25, even my 15-year-old whiskey. I'm gonna give him new make. I'm gonna give him stuff that's like 3 to 9 years old, right? You're cool with that because you like whiskey and you're like, hey,
alcohol is alcohol.
I get 3 pours a day. This is fantastic. However, I also have a few little younglings at my distillery. Let's say Star Wars younglings, right? And they can't quite handle the whiskey, but they also don't want to seem, you know, like they're weak, for lack of a better term. So they take their one little glass in the morning and then they go in the break room and they pour it in the teapot. That's right, you can see it, little teapot right here. And basically, the amalgamation of the new make whiskey, and this was like exclusively sherried whiskey, again, sherry guy, exclusively sherried whiskey, poured into this copper teapot in this break room. The amalgamation of this liquid just created this amazing nectar from the whiskey gods. And I was very fortunate to secure a bottle of batch 6 back in July of 2019, and I remember when it arrived, I was so excited. I was like a high school dude going on his first date, and I was like, oh my god, it's like double Dutch, what's gonna happen? And it got here, and I opened it, and I put it on the bar, and I just looked at it. And I was like, oh, it's so pretty. I've been after this bottle for so long. What am I gonna do with it? It's just gonna sit on a shelf. And it was like that for like 2 days. And I realized that this whiskey is meant to be drank. This whiskey is meant to be consumed. This whiskey is meant to be just shared, for lack of a better word. So again, giveaway. We're going to be giving away a 2-ounce sample of the Teapot Dram Batch 7. That's right, folks. We're coming out with a giveaway, and we're not holding anything back. We're going to give you some of our best whiskey. So again, if you saw the last video, you know what you needed to do. And for anybody who didn't see the last video and stay till the end, we know. We've already done the numbers. We know who we're giving this away to. But for lack of a better word, we're going to go ahead and try this. Now, again, this is 59.9%. It's a punch in the face. This is a non-age statement. This is going to be intentionally young. It's designed to be that. And the way I heard about this whiskey, ooh, that's a little bit of a large pour. The way I heard about this whiskey was through Scotch for Dummies and by way of Aquavitae. And Aquavitae, you guys know we talk about him a lot. And his whole motto is whiskey and whiskey till it's shared. And he shared a sample of batch 5, which we do have on the bar. We were fortunate enough to score that at an auction. And he shared it with the Scotch for Dummies. And I remember sitting back coming across this video where they sampled Teapot Dram batch 5. And I was just like, where is it and how do I get it? And when I finally found out it was a Distillery Exclusive, I was brokenhearted. And then batch 6 came out. I was able to secure one. Caesar and I started enjoying whiskey together. We were able to secure a bottle of batch 5. And a few weeks ago, batch 7 came out and we got paid. We got a nice little bonus check from work. And I went to work and I was having a little bit of a rough morning. And Caesar was telling me about all the bottles he bought. And he's like, yeah, man, I spent like $200 on whiskey this morning. It's great. I got some cool bottles. I can't wait. And I looked at him dead and pan in the eye and I said, you want to spend another $100? And he was like, what do you mean? And I said, I got James Bond. And he was like, I'm in.
Yeah, I remember specifically for this one, I was like, yeah, Matt, hey, but can I please have like a month to pay you off? He's like, yeah, bro, I got you. Folks, I kid you not, I paid him off within 3 days. That's how good this was.
So this is a whiskey, and I know we're kind of hyping it up before we even get to it, but this is a whiskey that is something that is just exceptional. Now, we have not tried this together. We split the bottle when we were doing some reviews a few weeks ago, and we haven't really touched it.
I haven't tried it.
I was watching Scotch for Dummies live stream last night, and there was a gentleman in the chat who said that he was finishing up his night off with a sample of Batch 7. I'm all over my words tonight. So I said, you know what? I'm going to crack some. I'm going to go ahead and have a little bit of my Batch 7, and boy, oh boy, did it not disappoint. So I'm excited to see what Caesar gets, because again, I tried this less than 24 hours ago. And I'm kind of sad I poured such a big pour because oh God, it's good. It's good, folks. So
he said he poured because he wants to make it last longer.
Exactly, right? So for my coin today, I'm going to go ahead and be using my Aquavite Evangelist coin from his Patreon. Go check it out, Aquavite on Patreon. Water of Life. Man, Roy, you're fantastic, brother. Had it not been for your philosophy of whiskey and whiskey till it's shared and you sharing it with the boys from Batch 5, I would have never heard about this. Therefore, I can't help but say thank you. And that's why, in the spirit of that whiskey and whiskey till it's shared, we're going to give away a little bit of this, because that's just, we want to give back to the community. We want to say thank you. I don't know how that happened. We want to say thank you to everybody that's been coming along with us through 10 videos now. This is our 11th video. Who's hit us up on SoCal Dram Tram on Instagram, followed us here on YouTube, all that good stuff. You guys are fantastic. So again, I'm using my Evangelist Aquavite coin. What you using?
For my topper coin, I'm using my Scotch Hoa, the first fill from the Scotch for Dummies. And for my coaster coin, Bourbon Sane, because you keep me sane. Now, as far as smell goes, this is the third Teapot Dram, or as I like to call it, the Teapot Bam Bam, that I've had. And every single teapot consistently smells the same way. High in alcohol percentage, and the reason I call it Teapot Bam Bam is because, bam, it just hits you in the face with the alcohol. Like right now, I'm trying to push past the alcohol, but all I get is Sharpie. You open a brand new Sharpie, and that's what I'm kind of getting. But the taste has always been very nice. Every single teapot I've ever had. So I'm excited for this Teapot Bam Bam.
So Caesar's talking, I sipped. And raisins, dates, honey, brown sugar, cloves, ginger. Just imagine, this is...
Oh my God.
Imagine Christmas, right? You come home, you see your mom, she's baking cookies, or your wife is baking, whatever. Somebody's in the kitchen and they're baking, folks. And they're making just things that are just going to be out of this world, and you're going to end up in a carb coma.
Oh, it's so good.
That's
folks,
this whiskey.
I have never had some same brand like that. This brand is besides Glengoyne, the Teapot Dram. So that release, Teapot Dram, I've never had an alcohol so consistent, and how amazing it is with each release they get, folks. I was super excited about the 5 and the 6 because, they're older, and this one I wasn't as excited about. I'm going to be honest, because, in my mind, the older the release is, the better it's going to be. But, folks, this is equally just as good as the last 2. I would love to rate one better than the other, but it's impossible, man. Every single one lands amazingly. And I'm saying this without even saying what it tastes like. It's amazing. I get a deep chocolate. I get the deep vanilla. And it's funny because we're sitting around in my mouth, and it's burning my mouth like, yo, this is 59%, bruh. This is burning. But at the same time, that's equally just as strong as the burn is the sweetness and the character and the flavor you're pulling from it. So just as much as your taste buds are like, wow, this is kind of, like on the more alcohol side, your other taste buds are like, wow, but can you not taste this great character coming from behind it? This is amazing, folks. Amazing.
So now that we've fanboyed out on this whiskey, because quite frankly, it's like the 60s, man. The Beatles have shown up on Ed Sullivan, and we are just like teenage girls going, ah!
Yeah.
But the reality is, folks, is that this whiskey is exceptional, and it goes to show that you don't need to put an age on a bottle to put out good whiskey. Now, it breaks my heart that this is a distillery exclusive and that I have to pay out the butt to get it.
Well worth it.
However, I want to put something in perspective for you folks.
Worth it.
This bottle retails for about $120 at the distillery. I paid about $200, which meant we split this, which was about $200, or sorry, $100 between us each. Caesar did that blindly for only half the bottle. Now, does that make us bottle chasers? No, I don't think it does. I think it just means that we really know what we like. It makes us
dream catchers.
Fair enough. We're literally hanging above beds and stuff. I don't know. That's kind of creepy. Edit that out. Or put a dream catcher on my face. I don't know. But the reality is, folks, is that this whiskey goes to show that you don't have to put an age statement on a whiskey to know that it's good. There's other NASs out there that I know that I really like. Hell, Monkey Shoulder is a fantastic bottle that we've yet to review that I know we're going to get to, and it's fantastic, and it's $30 a bottle. Does that compare to this? No, it doesn't hold a candle to it. But the point is that non-age statement isn't something that you should be afraid of. There's a lot of good non-age statements out there. If you can get your hands on this, and I'll talk a little bit about the water because I see you pouring water there, because I did put some on it. If you can get your hands on this, whether it's at a bar, which is pretty unlikely, or if you have a friend that collects whiskey and they're willing to pour you some, you gotta give it a shot because it's so rich.
If they're willing to share it with you.
Absolutely, and they should share it with you. And ultimately, the way I can describe it outside of whiskey terms, outside of exotic terms, it's the difference between having a steak that is like, I'm not even going to say like an Applebee's steak where it's tough as cardboard. Let's just, not even a Norm's. Let's just say you're having like a steak from Outback, who can sometimes put a decent steak out, right? But then you go to like a Morton's, or you go to like a Ruth Chris, or Stu Bricks if you're lucky enough to live in Orange County, because I freaking love Stu Bricks, and you get something the way it's supposed to be done. This is that. Again, this is, if I'm correct, this is between 3 to 9 year old whiskey. And it tastes like a Glendronach 18, which is why I went ahead and wanted to do the giveaway right after Glendronach 18, because eventually we're going to do a video, a side-by-side comparison of the 18 to a teapot, because I really want to see which one comes out at the end of the day. I want to see where they rank, where they actually taste. You're going to be able to figure it out because this one is so much hotter in comparison to Glendronach 18, but in terms of the flavor, this is just a more amped up. This is, in the words of Spinal Tap, this is turned up to 11 on those same flavors.
Dude, have you put water in it?
I have, and it laughed it off.
Well, to be honest, I haven't tried it after water, but I put water in it, and as far as the smell goes, it's no longer a Sharpie, folks. You replace that Sharpie with a kindergarten Crayola crayon brown that says brown sugar on there, and you tell your mommy, I want the crayons that smell like what it says it is, and it says brown sugar, and you grab it and you shave it off and you grab it. That brown sugar is what I'm getting from here.
I hate you. I hate you for that analogy.
It smells like a Crayola brown sugar brown crayon.
Oh God, that just took me to like kindergarten Miss Decker days. Like, oh my gosh, just sitting on the freaking, ABC carpet, just trying to color inside the lines, and I couldn't do it. So it's like, I hate you for that analogy. But
flavor-wise, it did brush it off like nothing.
Oh yeah,
nothing.
It looks at water and it's like
punch it up. Yeah.
Y'all remember Last Jedi? Now, we ain't gonna try to talk about Star Wars here because we know that's a little bit of a sensitive subject, but we can all agree that scene in Last Jedi when Kylo Ren is just bam, bam, bam on Luke Skywalker at the end, and Luke just goes, that's what this whiskey did to water, folks. This whiskey looked at the water and said, yeah, right. But I will say, if you get enough of it on here, it does even out the flavors a little bit, for sure. It does kind of make it a little bit more approachable because 59% is hot. This is almost 60%. And your average whiskey drinker, I think of a lot of my friends who you and I are both friends with, this is not something that they can go straight up to and have, right?
Yeah.
This is something that even me, and I have a lot of whiskey. I drink whiskey almost every night. This is not something that even I run up to and I'm like, yeah, let me have some of this because I know it's going to pack a punch. This is Mike Tyson's punch out ready to blow you in the face. You know what I mean? And so it's one of those things to where it makes you respect the whiskey ultimately at the end of the day. It makes you think, I know that I'm tasting something good, whether you can pick out all the flavors, because I sure as hell can't, but it makes you know that you're respecting something and you're appreciating something. Essentially, this whiskey is humbling you, for lack of a better word.
Yeah,
it's basically
amazing.
making you realize at the altar of the whiskey gods that you may not know what you're doing, but that's okay because you still have a respect and appreciation for that. And this video is going a little long, but again, this is something that demands it. It demands it.
As far as rating, folks, to be honest, this Glengoyne makes my taste buds go boing. If I was stuck on a canoe, it'd keep me rowing. I don't know where I'm going, but for sure, if I were to rate this, it's off the rail. 5, I guess, technically, if it's a number, but off the rail, off the tracks. Take some Prozacs and eat some snacks, because this is amazing, folks. I can't explain anymore how much I love it.
I hate you so much. I'm with you, man. We're going off the rails on this one.
Yeah.
It's a 5. But hey, do us a favor. Like, share, subscribe. Hit us up on Instagram at SoCal Dram Tram. And again, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys through 10 videos. This is video number 11. And again, don't worry. We got that video coming your way. So, guys, we appreciate you so much. Caesar, you got anything else you want to add?
Now, what about you, Matt?
All aboard! Catch you next time. Hey everybody, hope you liked that video.
Don't forget to hit that bell for notifications.
And don't forget to subscribe.